A mysterious death of a mother of two? Could a supernatural force have driven the woman to the other world? What secret are the victims' relatives trying to hide from the psychics? Don't miss one of the most dramatic investigations by the psychics. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a project of exclusively true and shocking stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants investigate tangled criminal cases and incredible paranormal phenomena. A small Ukrainian village. This boy's name is Vlad. He's 5. And this is his 13-year-old sister, Irina. The children spend their summers with their grandmother, and then their father takes them to the city in the fall. Last year, their mother, 30-year-old Irina Osipchuk, passed away.
Losing your child is the most terrible thing ever.
Irina worked as a baker at the local bakery. The night before her death, she was doing a night shift when she suddenly received a call on her mobile phone.
When she answered, she talked in a raised voice, got angry, and then threw the phone at the tiles, shattering it. Then she took out the SIM card and started chewing it.
She chewed her SIM card until it broke.
Nobody knows who phoned Irina or why. However, after the call, she dropped her work and left without finishing her shift, but she never got home. Early in the morning, she appeared at her parents' house, 12 kilometers from the city where she worked and lived with her husband and children. A few hours later, her parents found her dead in bed, with her veins slit on both wrists.
I called an ambulance. I screamed, "Hurry up!" I didn't know what had happened.
How could this happen out of the blue? She was a loving wife and a good housekeeper.
According to the official version of the police, Irina committed suicide. Apparently, she took her father's razor blades, slit her veins, and lay there, bleeding to death. However, no explanation has been found as to why she might have done this.
My sister was a wonderful housekeeper. She cooked, she did the laundry, and always kept her home clean.
The family are still haunted by questions. Why did Irina come to her parents in the middle of the night? And why did she die such a horrible death?
She was such a life-loving person. She was always happy. I can't believe she did this.
The family doesn't believe that the loving mother could have committed suicide and left her underage children behind. However, before her death, the woman seemed to be in a kind of trance.
Some evil force simply worked against her, did its part.
Psychics Olga Kalinova and Yakiv Schneerson will attempt to clarify if it's true.
Olga, what's wrong with you? Driver, stop! Are you unwell, Olga? What did you sense?
I need fresh air. I felt sick because I sensed all the pain the woman experienced before her death. It was horrifying. I felt like I was bleeding myself.
I see that before Irina's death, a woman was chasing her. But I don't understand if it was a living woman or a spirit or some entity.
And I see a large square. There are many people there, and it's like someone is being led to execution. They're going to execute a woman, and the people are watching. Among those condemning her is another woman. I don't see her face. But then she raises her head, the hood falls, and do you know who I see? The woman whose death we're investigating.
Come in. Hello?
Hello?
I need to work.
Olga Kalinova is using a strange tool today. She says she received it from a Tibetan colleague.
I'd like to check something in the yard.
Meanwhile, Yakiv Schneerson goes to the house where the tragedy occurred.
I saw a man's spirit wandering around in the yard.
Olga? Olga, come here. Please tell me, did she die here?
Yes.
Irina arrived at her parents around 4 in the morning. but she left work at 8 the previous evening. Nobody knows where she was for 8 hours and why she didn't head home. She was acting very strangely, ignoring any questions. Her parents simply decided to put her to bed. Her husband was supposed to pick her up the next day after work, but she died by morning.
I see a man. He enters and he's pacing around here.
Olga Kalinova saw the spirit of a man in the yard, but who is he? And is he somehow connected to the young woman's death?
A man found her.
Her father.
There's something with his throat. He's pointing at it.
Yes, he had a tumor on his carotid artery.
Unable to bear his daughter's death, Irina's father passed away from cancer a year later.
He loved her a lot. The grief of losing his daughter ate him away from the inside.
He didn't discuss it with us. Whenever we brought it up, he started crying.
The man also blamed himself for not sensing anything that terrible night and for not hiding his razor blades. But what caused Irina to do such a horrifying thing? Who phoned her before her death and why? Where was she for half the night? Why didn't she go home to her husband and children? Olga Kalinova asks to leave her alone in the house, and Yakiv Schneerson goes outside with Irina's mother and sister.
I see the day when it happened. You know, she walks in, and she's restless as if something is taking possession of her. She's not herself. It's like there's an internal conflict going on inside her head.
Yakiv,
Olga, what is it?
over here.
What happened?
The psychic's nose starts bleeding. What happened?
I tuned into the last moments of Irina's life and felt all the pain she was going through. I had the feeling that she was alone in the world. It seems like there was some kind of explosion in your daughter's head.
She arrived in a taxi, lay down on the bed, and covered herself. I said, "Tell me what happened. Where were you? And why are you here?" But she wouldn't say a word. I don't know what happened while she was at work. All I know is that someone called her. And after that, she smashed her phone and left work.
We need to go to the cemetery. It'll be easier to find out the truth there. She says some kind of force was pulling her there. It was so strong that it didn't let her live.
The family say that about 6 months before her death, Irina indeed became very strange.
She communicated with us, but at the same time, she was absent. Like her body was here, but she was elsewhere. Like her soul was gone.
I see a man.
He has fair hair cut short, and his eyes are light.
That's Irina's husband.
He hides his eyes. He shows bruises. She feels humiliation and pain.
He never abused her.
They were openly lying to us. I felt that Irina's husband beat her.
Irina's spirit is terribly anxious for some reason.
Because both her mother and sister were trying to hide something from us. He beat her, and I can't stand these lies.
He only hit her once in front of me. I only witnessed it once.
But it happened more than once.
Really? I didn't know that.
We need to talk to her husband.
He's at work now.
Do you have his number?
Serhi. The psychics would like to talk to you. No, he refuses to talk.
Before Irina's death, their relationship had deteriorated. When I understood this, her spirit told me, "Follow me, and I'll tell and show you everything."
Irina's spirit is calling us. Can we go where she worked?
The psychics are immediately heading to the bakery where Irina worked. Perhaps they'll be able to find out about the strange call, after which Irina smashed her mobile and ate her SIM card.
The first thing Irina's spirit told me about was her relationship with her husband. His interest in me faded. If I did something he didn't like, he'd beat me. He used to teach me like I was a child. I tuned into her. Her spirit shows me some internal betrayal. He seemed to reevaluate his values, and he became more interested in work and money.
He only wanted to earn as much money as possible.
The couple had a significant age difference. When they got married, Irina was very young, straight out of high school.
Her husband treated her like a child. He believed he had the right to shape her life as he saw fit. And this severely depressed her as a person. She would run away because she felt no support. She couldn't live like that because she wanted understanding.
Here, Irina found some salvation, and her profound loneliness ended.
I understand what you're talking about.
You see, she discovered a refuge of some sort. Do you understand what I mean?
I do get you.
6 months before Irina's death, her family noticed that she started talking to someone on the phone. Then, she started disappearing. As it turned out, she had fallen in love. His name is Tolik.
I told her, Irina, what connects you with this man? She said, nothing. But I heard her talking to him, and I secretly found his phone number and called him. I introduced myself as Irina's mother and said, what kind of relationship do you have with her? And he answered, I love your daughter. I asked, do you know she has 2 children? He said, I do. So I told him, as a mother, I'm begging you, back off and don't destroy the family.
You met the man.
I never saw him.
You were in his house.
I was there, but I only saw his mother. It's just that Irina didn't come home for the night. So I got worried and thought she was with Tolik. So I went to see his mother and we talked. I asked her to tell her son,
Not to ruin what she had.
not to ruin her family.
We were trying to save what was left of it, despite it wasn't we'd like it to be. She attempted to conceal this relationship.
Because your family lived by certain traditions and rules, would you have understood her? She was confused herself, you know? Do you really think she did this because she was frivolous? Irina simply wanted to love and be loved.
We need to speak to that man.
Let's go to the place where he lives.
Do the Stepwars live here?
Why are you asking? No, not here.
But they do.
Good luck then.
Here, the first door.
Where do they live?
Don't film anything, goodbye.
As it turned out, these are Tolik's relatives, his aunt and uncle. It seems we can't talk to Irina's lover.
A woman's spirit emerged. What's your name?
I see the letter A.
I see an image of a woman with her hands folded like this. She's praying. And the prayer gives meaning to her life. She's drawing something with my hand. It's a place. Rocks. Like a fortress or something.
There's a fortress in the downtown.
It turns out, Oksana means the fortress built by Prince Konstantin Ostrogsky in the 16th century.
We need to go there.
Who is the female spirit, whose name starts with an A that the psychic saw? And why did she call them here?
I feel her presence. She emerged again.
She's walking around us. She's wearing white. This woman is a widow. She married a man who was much older than her. She wasn't happy because he died quickly. She's over there now.
She stood there, like she didn't know where else to go. She was obviously giving us a sign.
I see iron on her arms, and there's some kind of metal belt. She used it to suppress her love.
We consulted a historian. He identified the spirit the psychics described as Anna Aloysia Hodkiewicz.
She was born in 1600. When she turned 18, her mother started looking for a husband for her, and thus, she married Jan Hodkiewicz, the Lithuanian hetman. He was 60 and she was 19. A few days after the wedding, he left and went to Khotyn, where the Khotyn War was underway. He died in that war. After her husband's death, she wore a wire belt. People use such methods to control their vices.
She punished other women during her lifetime for what she thought was improper behavior. She punished them for infidelity and inappropriate conduct in society. She decided their fates.
After her husband's death, she had a very negative attitude towards secular life. Anna Aloysia presided over the noble court. People were quartered, had their hands cut off, burned with pitch, hanged, and had their tongues torn out.
At that moment, I didn't understand why the spirit appeared. What did Irina and Anna Aloysia have in common? The only thing that was clear was that both of them were very lonely.
I felt that Irina was extremely lonely. Everyone, even her closest people, abandoned her.
Irina's mother and sister do not confirm this information. However, the victim indeed stopped communicating with them some time before her death.
Oksana would reproach her, and after her mother started doing it, she retreated into herself.
Perhaps that's why Irina refused to explain anything to her parents on the night of her death, as she knew she wouldn't find understanding. Meanwhile, we still met with Irina's husband. He refused to speak on camera, but admitted that, on the last day of his wife's life, he had promised his mother-in-law that they would divorce, and that he would definitely take the children from her.
I told my mother-in-law that if we didn't divorce, I'd make sure she's deprived of her parental rights.
Serhiy said he wouldn't give her the children.
And the man she fell in love with and hoped for support from betrayed her at the most crucial moment.
Shortly before her death, Irina talked on the phone with Tolik. He really loved her, and he dreamed of creating a family with her. But lately, he had felt tremendous pressure from his and her relatives, friends, and neighbors. Everyone thought their relationship was sinful and that it was destroying her family. Tolik told Irina he didn't want to be with her anymore. Desperate, she smashed her phone and destroyed the SIM card. Then, Irina ran away from work. Tolik became an obsession for her. She was running around the city looking for him.
A while after Irina's death, her mother met Tolik, and he told her that on the last night of Irina's life, she called him several times from unknown numbers, but he didn't want to talk to her.
It hurts her now to open her soul to you, but she understands that she just wants to bend her knees. She says, "Hear me, sister."
I'm just mad that she left her children. You need to feed your children. You need to get them on their feet and raise them. You can't just leave and abandon them.
Olga, hold her.
Olga, bring water.
Water,
Bring water.
water.
Olga, get up.
Olga, get up.
Get up, Olga.
I felt sick because I asked Irina what had happened, and she answered, I couldn't take it anymore. I lost contact with my husband. He would have taken the children away from me anyway. My mother and sister stopped communicating with me, and the man I fell in love with betrayed me. There was no point in living anymore. Forgive me.
May she forgive us for not listening to her.
For not understanding her, for not supporting her.
At some point, I saw the spirit of Anna Aloysia again, and I finally understood that she and Irina had something in common.
The spirits of Anna Aloysia and Irina are one and the same. After her death, Anna Aloysia's soul was reborn in a new body, in Irina's body.
Yakiv, the woman we both saw, was her.
However, when we looked at the portrait of the young Anna Aloysia Hodkiewicz, we were surprised by how similar she was to Irina Osipchuk. But what does this mean?
In the past life, Anna Aloysia condemned everyone for betrayal, and after death, her spirit was reborn in Irina's body. Irina had to experience human judgment to correct the mistake of her past life. If she hadn't committed suicide, her spirit would have moved to a new level. But now this soul will have to be reborn again and go through this hell once more. She has to go through this test to correct the mistakes of her past lives.
We need to release her. No one should be judged, because everyone has their reasons for acting the way they do. And we don't even know what will happen to each of us the next moment.
Forgive me, my dear, for everything. I am so sorry. Forgive me for not supporting you. I'm sorry that I failed to understand you.
If you're impressed by this story, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Many more astonishing investigations are coming up. An awful car crash took the lives of a young sports star and her father. The victim's family don't believe it was an accident. The deceased beauty's ghost will unmask the killer. In this episode, the psychics will deal with the circumstances surrounding the death of a young Ukrainian athlete, Victoria, a Ukrainian, European, and world champion in acrobatic rock and roll and a master of sports. This video was filmed in September 2014. A month later, Victoria was gone. She had just returned from a competition. The following day was to be Victoria's long-awaited day off, and she and her dad were going by car to visit her grandma in the village. But at the edge of the city, a terrible wreck occurred.
A Ukrainian champion in acrobatic rock and roll, and her father died in a car crash.
Victoria was Yulia's only daughter and sense of her entire life. Her awards, drawings, and poems are the only things that her mom has left.
Dear Mom, please stay young, kind, cheerful, happy, and kind to me.
When the tragedy occurred, Yulia was at work. After she received a call from the police, she immediately dashed to the site of the crash.
Somewhere here, at the roadside, she was covered. Her heart wasn't beating anymore, unfortunately.
Victoria's father, Anatoly, died from the injuries he received.
The armored vehicle was here, and the car was around here. It virtually had no hood. It was crushed almost completely.
At about 2:30, the collision between the Opel Kadett and the armored personnel carrier, which was standing idle ahead of it in the same lane of the highway, happened.
The personnel carrier broke down on its way from the conflict zone in the Donetsk region. The crew were waiting for the assistance. The collision was so powerful that the almost 14-ton armored machine even jolted.
The engine crashed into the car's interior. The soldiers from the carrier, they ran up to them immediately and pulled Anatoly out of the car, but Victoria was literally crushed. The rescuers had to cut the car to get her out.
A strange wreck it was. The military vehicle was standing on the roadside and did not pose an obstruction to the car. It had warning signs in front and behind it. The highway is straight, without any sharp turns or narrowings. It's highly unlikely that Anatoly didn't see it.
I drove the same day and the view was clear.
He was an experienced driver. He drove carefully and never speeded.
Anatoly drove a car for 23 years. No alcohol or drugs were found in his blood. The family and friends are sure that if something unexpected had happened on the road, Anatoly would have definitely dealt with it.
If he'd seen an obstacle on the road, he would have tried to avoid it to save his daughter.
But all the facts indicate that it wasn't the case.
No brake trace, nothing.
This is unusual. In an emergency, a driver instinctively attempts to avoid contact with the obstacle or source of danger. And doing it, they brake hard or maneuver.
I don't understand why he didn't brake.
Currently, there is no explanation for why he drove straight into the obstacle.
I still can't understand how it happened.
Amolfar Olena Stetsenko and a British spiritual medium, Anna Galliers, are going to find out the circumstances under which the world champion in acrobatic rock and roll and her father died.
This accident wasn't supposed to happen. Somebody provoked it.
You know, Anna, when I look at this girl's photo, I see another girl and she raises her hand with a knife over Victoria's head. And Victoria is smeared with blood.
It's weird, but I don't feel knife wounds on her body. Looking into the eyes of the girl in the photo, I only hear one thing: break the circle, release me. What could she mean?
I've been looking forward to meeting you. Come in, please. I'd really love you to help me.
Your daughter, she should be here with us. It feels like her life was taken by force.
I have a constant feeling she's somewhere near me. I remember. I went to bed one night and then woke up to a tiny knock, and I had a feeling Victoria was somewhere around.
This is true. Her spirit is with us, but it's hard for her because she's stuck between the worlds.
I saw her in my dreams. She said she didn't understand what had happened.
The spirit of the girl cannot leave our world. Usually this happens to those who committed suicide or died abruptly as a result of an accident or murder.
Energetically, the accident was colored in red. It's some kind of aggression. Once, a widow came to see me. She had lost her husband in a car wreck, and her main question was, why didn't he brake? As we found out, somebody had cut his brake. And later it turned out these were his business rivals.
Did the car in which the father and the daughter were have its brakes tampered with? Is it possible that the police officers who checked the car overlooked it?
I know for sure that the car was taken for an examination. They took off its wheels to check the brakes. The technical condition of the car was excellent.
I tried to feel the moment of the tragedy, but I saw darkness. I saw absolutely nothing. I had a feeling somebody or something was blocking the information from me. Or perhaps the driver was unconscious or dead when the accident happened.
He was alive after the crash. The soldiers from the carrier said they immediately got out of the vehicle after the collision, and Victoria, who took the main damage, had no pulse by then. But he was alive. They pulled him out, but he died on the way to the hospital.
After the collision, he turned his face to his daughter, and his eyes saw the bloodied child, and a tear dropped from his eye, and the pain, an awful pain in his heart.
He loved her so much, and she loved him.
These are the last photos of Yulia's daughter. taken just a month before the tragedy.
He loved his daughter madly, just madly. When we were departing for our first international tournament, her father was crying that he was letting her go alone. He was so attached to her.
I have a feeling of a broken circle, like a cracked circle or cracked life.
I get what you're talking about. There was the ring. It's my husband's wedding ring. He used to say it was her lucky charm, and he always gave her the ring because he wanted it to be with her.
I feel it cracked.
Just a couple of days before death.
Yes, the ring cracked.
A wedding ring splitting in two is an evil sign.
Where is that ring now?
I don't know where this ring is or what happened to it.
There is no wedding ring on your finger either. Your connection as a couple is broken.
Unfortunately, we broke up.
It turned out that Victoria's parents divorced a year before the tragedy. The man's unfaithfulness ruined their family life, but for the sake of their daughter, Anatoly and Yulia kept a friendly relationship.
She even felt as if they still had a regular family.
He often drove her to trainings and brought her home afterward.
She always wanted us all to be together, but unfortunately after we broke up, she suffered a lot. He wanted to take her with him.
At some point, they began to argue about who Victoria should live with, and I said, Anatoly, please, don't take the daughter away from her mother.
I don't feel well. I don't understand who or what it is, but it's in the room now. Laughter. It's like laughter from the other world. I feel somebody laughing at Victoria's death. Your child's prospects were bright. Even at her age, she had achieved things that would take others their entire lives to achieve.
Indeed, being only 14, Victoria had already visited many countries of the world and won around 30 prestigious awards. Professionals all over the world knew her. Thanks to her tours, being just a schoolgirl, Victoria earned as much as an adult at a good job.
There was a lot of anger against her. Many parents wished their children to have her success.
Somebody's blaming themselves for Victoria's death. They're in a huge building. White bricks and large pillars at the entrance.
The practice hall.
Did Victoria's father pick her up after trainings?
Yes. He drove there to bring her home in his car, and he took her there.
The man's car was always in front of that building. I'm afraid somebody could get rid of Victoria as a rival.
If the nuts securing the front wheels of a car are loosened, irrespective of the vehicle's current condition, it is possible for even an experienced driver to lose control over it after a certain distance. And in such a case, an accident is imminent.
Hold on, I hear your daughter. She's asking for something, pointing at this toy.
The teddy bear, we always took it with us when we went to tournaments. It was her lucky charm.
She's saying, Mom, bring it to me. I don't know where she wants you to bring it, but take it with you.
The building in which Victoria spent most of her time looks exactly as Anna Galliers described it.
This is her coach, Yevgenia.
Hello.
She trained most often in this hall.
She wishes she could hug you both, embrace you tightly, and say, "My two mommies, I miss you so much, and I really want to be with you."
We all have the feeling that the door will open at any moment, and she will come in to join us.
I see eyes all the time, the eyes whose gaze follows the girl constantly. Did you want to kill Victoria?
I didn't want it.
I see you holding a knife above her.
Diana is 15 years old. She and Victoria were best friends. But what does the psychic's baffling vision mean?
I have a photo. We took it a month before Victoria's death.
We were having lunch together and there was ketchup there. So we smeared it on Victoria's forehead and took the knife. When I saw the picture, I was terrified it could have possibly happened because of it. We were best friends and always said we were sisters. We were very close.
Please, calm down. Don't blame yourself.
But I really feel that somebody was happy because she died. And they're still happy. This is so awful.
I don't know.
After we arrived from the cemetery, we checked her page, and there were terrible, disgusting things there.
We're happy you're dead. Now rot in there.
Did you check who posted it?
When you go to the page, there's nothing. It's blank. It has no information about the person. Nothing.
We analyzed the texts from Victoria's social media and tracked their authors. It turned out that there are groups on social media that find pages of people who died and poured dirt on them.
You know, a British newspaper once asked me to work with the photo of John Lennon from the Beatles. His fan killed him on his way home. I think these deaths have something in common. Victoria was also killed by her fan. The murderer is someone who was obsessed with her. I hear shouting. It's Victoria's voice. It's like she's calling someone, asking them to help her. Yulia, you often see your daughter at night.
Yes, I had such a dream. And she said I needed to go to the place where it had happened.
The psychics go to the site of the crash. It's already dark. To prevent accidents while the psychics are working, the police even partially block the road.
I see your daughter. Her father is next to her. I see his last gaze at his daughter and the tear in his eye. It's hot as fire. It's caused by pain. It's so intense. It's like he's experiencing the loss of his child again.
Yes, he'd been married before, and his wife had taken their child and left him. It was also a girl. His wife left with his daughter and forbade him to speak to her.
He felt pain because he'd been parted from his daughter, and he wanted to see her.
He always wanted it.
And so Victoria was his greatest treasure in life. He loved her so much, and the last tear he shed in his life is burning my heart.
I get it. This is Anatoly. Anatoly killed his daughter, the father. The father killed his daughter. This is impossible.
The father? But why? He loved his daughter so much.
I don't understand how it was even possible.
Yulia, he did it on purpose. He accelerated the car. He raced.
Why? Just why? I would never think it could be possible.
He wanted to take her with him.
He wanted to take her from me, but not her life.
He wanted her to always be with him. He wished her to live with him.
Yes, he really wanted to take her, so she would live with him, but she said she wanted to live with me.
As it turned out, in recent months, the man had been talking regularly that he wanted his daughter to live with him. But Victoria kept refusing.
And when they were in the car, he asked her again.
Will you live with me? But Victoria said, Dad, I love you so much, and I know how much you love me, but I'll stay with Mom. And at that moment, he saw red, and he hit the accelerator hard, and his only thought was, you're mine. You're only mine. The red energy of aggression. I felt it before the investigation. It was Anatoly's anger towards himself. He lost one daughter. and he couldn't do anything to make his other daughter stay with him. He didn't want to live like this anymore.
Her father loved her madly. It was fanatical love.
Not long before you arrived, I had a dream of her walking around our apartment. She brought me my phone, and in the phone, I heard his voice. I didn't want to speak to him, so I returned her the phone. And Victoria said, "Mom, but he wanted to talk. He wanted to tell you something."
He feels guilty. Only after his daughter's death did he realize what he'd done.
The obsession with his daughter clouded his reasoning. Throughout the investigation, I kept seeing the transparent human figure. It was following us all day long. It was the father's spirit. I heard his laughter. It was hysterical laughter because he committed suicide and killed his daughter. He's a sinner, and she's an innocent soul. They're in different worlds now, and they will never see each other again. This is horrendous.
He once visited me in a dream. I don't remember how much time after the crash had passed. He told me he wasn't with Victoria, and he didn't know where she was.
This is the reason your daughter kept haunting you in your dreams, asking to come to the site of the tragedy. She wanted you to see that there's no brake trace. She wanted to draw your attention to it because her father hadn't braked. He did it purposefully.
She wants to go, but something's holding her back. And she's showing me her hands. There's something glittering on them.
This ring, she wore it. I took it.
Was she wearing it at the moment of her death?
Yes, they gave it to me.
This ring keeps her anchored to this world. Her soul can't leave it. You need to take the ring to her grave, or have it sanctified at a church. Thus, she can go on living in the other world. She doesn't want you to be lonely. She wants you to have a child and go on living.
I understand. I'd like to thank you so much for helping me.
And she wants you to leave the toy here. Simply put it down here before we go and say goodbye to your daughter.
This is horrific. The father's fervent love and wish that his daughter would stay with him resulted in a terrible tragedy. If you're also impressed by this story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive investigations are ahead.